And the last thing about what we can do, start local, start in your neck of the woods. There was a question about why do people, quote unquote, vote against their interests, because they don't necessarily understand how the ballot or the vote is directly linked to their health and well-being outcomes, their economic outcomes, their education outcomes, right? And we need to help people understand that. Frequently in Black-led urban communities, you hear certain of those who are in the conservative movement say, why don't you vote out your mayor? Why don't you vote out those who are in charge? Because you still have certain levels of crime. You still don't have the level of economic opportunity that you have. But rarely do we see that narrative spun on its head, and to ask those in states that have bottom-feeding health outcomes, right? Why don't you vote out those in power? Because your citizens and your relatives are still dying disproportionately. You don't have access to high-quality education in the ways that you should. You don't have access to the full economic menu of opportunity the way you should. And that's a narrative shift in frame. So that's the other thing that we need to do in our local environments, is interrogate the narratives that are being said and gut check them. Say, does this hold water in my personal life? If you are suffering in this system, the way for you to change from suffering to transformation is to be able to hold those accountable who have had the purse strings, that have been in power.